Hello, it's Collette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to give you this week's energy forecast. I kind of guess you're already feeling it. The pre-eclipse window has opened, and we're all feeling that really deep space that's opening. Those of you that are sensitive to energy will be able to feel that density that's in the air. There's kind of a quietness. It seems a little bit more still. Open the back door, feel that's all around you, still, quieter. There's a darkening that happens before the eclipse comes in that the feminine really feels. I feel she senses this maybe in her emotional waters, maybe in her chest, in her womb. There's something in the silence that wants to break out and be free. And since the ancient times that we women have been deeply spiritually connected, we know that the eclipses are seen as deep portals. They're moments when a natural order is disrupted so that a new order can come in. And so it really invites us to meet our shadows. It asks us to remember a part of us that is used to the descent, the stories of Inanna and of Persephone, that in order to rise, we've got to go to the underworld. We need to pick up the things that are dark and holding us back. So with the moon represents our emotions, and this is a time that we can feel what the emotions are showing us to usher in our new evolution. It's all about what is unconscious, the things that you don't know about yourself, the things that are revealing themselves that you're thinking, oh my goodness, like I wasn't really aware about this of myself, but now you are. And so there's lots of questions going to come up for you about what you're trying to change and what you're trying to release. And actually, what's been really truly showing itself to you in the last week and this week. I think there's so much in this lower energy, in this shadow energy, in this what's hidden. Whenever we see that, we know an elevation wants to come. The only way we can go when we go here is to rise. And the eclipses always want to bring a revolution and an evolution in. We'll see revolution, evolution, insight, illumination, all being reflected in our outer world, and specifically accountability. And I want to start there really. We have to be accountable for our life, our emotional life, our creative life, what's happening to us, what we don't like, as a reflection of what needs to change within us. If there's certain behaviors from the outside with people, what is that showing me on the inside that I need to change so this doesn't keep happening? That's the key. And, I've seen a lot over the last week of people using the term shadow work quite loosely. And the true thing about shadow work is it's really hard to catch out on your own, and that it can't be done by banging a drum or all these other crazy, wacky things that people protest. And I'm not saying that from an aloof place. I spent much of my earlier spiritual years thinking that those mantra circles and those things would really work on the deeper levels of my psyche, and it did not. It needs to be done in cohort with the deep therapeutic healing of going into patterns and behaviors, looking at them, realizing them, facing them, pulling your ego to one side so that it can become clear, and then changing. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of time. There's no magic wand. So just really be aware that there's always the easiest way to bypass. Persephone for sure did not want to go down into the underworld and have to face Hades. Inanna did not want to go through the seven gates to have to look at all the ways in which she was in her own shadows. And that goes for us. We don't want to do that because it's painful and it's hurtful. And it reveals a lot about yourself that you don't want to see. So that's the key here. It's what you don't want to see about yourself. It's what you'd rather push away. So something is happening in all of our lives at the moment that we don't want to see about ourselves. That is now coming up in this pre-eclipse build-up, where spiritual, emotional, and unconscious material wants to come to the forefront. It's going to leave us going through quite a lot. Number one, we're going to have like a soulful release and a deep emotional clearing. The Pisces lunar eclipse is calling for us to really let go with compassion, not to force. Don't be mean on yourself. Don't be mean on others. Be compassionate, because it's a moment to release emotion or spiritual baggage that are no longer helping you, but doing that with great kindness. Really deep karmic themes will be coming up, such as expressing grief, forgiveness, ancestral healing, as the eclipse surfaces as to what needs resolution. And I'm going to lead us into a little kind of meditation at the end of this as a gift to the feminine lineage that I honor. I have been feeling a deep affiliation with both my grandmother's and my father's and mother's side, and just a space where recognition and honoring can bring in some, highlighting of what I've been suffering, what they suffered, and it just to be recognized. So remember that this is kind of karmic on your own journey and what you've accumulated by the way you've behaved in this life and what you've done, but also deeply ancestral as well. We are coming into more spiritual surrender and intuitive awakening. So, really, a time for imagination, mystical realms, empathy. And the eclipse invites us to surrender to an inner wisdom, a mystical wisdom, the unseen, the magical, like if you don't believe in magic, if you're not really believing that you could have that beautiful relationship or own that stunning little home in the country, then how can all this open for you? So be more magical, be more mystical, be more feeling into the imagination as to what you desire. Imagine what you desire, see it as it already is, like it's yours, and trust that inner wisdom comes in to help you with the action pieces of moving transformation forward. I think it's really helpful over this week to be journaling, making notes from your dreams, as always, doing candle meditations or ancestral prayers, water release rituals. They can be really helpful as you come into the ritualistic part of feeling emotion and coming into like spiritual being by doing the ritual. It's really important that you see where you dominate in. I see people just doing ritual, 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 and there's kind of no emotional or other back work to do with that, maybe somatic. So just have a little think about where you dominate in. I can be very philosophical, very psychological, because that's kind of the area I'm mostly focusing on right now. So I'm trying to be a little more astrological. I am somatic and ritualistic. So I'm just trying to see where in balance or out of balance I am in those areas. And do I need to do more ritual? Do I need to do more somatic work? What is it that feels a bit unbalanced in this moment that will allow the leverage to move through the eclipse with deep insight? I think what we're also going to be feeling is that the eclipse is, as it comes on the 7th, on the Sunday, that it's a deep turning point. It's a window that's opening that is allowing you to enter a new phase, a new time, a new feeling, a new way of being. And in order for that to happen, what's behind you must break and collapse. So don't worry about the things that are showing themselves that are breaking and collapsing: friendships, lovers, jobs, whatever that is. Allow it to break. We have to allow those things to break to step forward into the new. And it will clear deep space for you. It really will. So all of this is the build up really to that 7th, when the door of the eclipse opens and we can take some deep clarity at that time. I'm holding a new temple school on the 7th. It will be Sunday evenings. This is one of the new things I want to do. I want to hold deep feminine temple space. This is going to be 9 weeks of working with the 9 temples and the energy of the Sri Yantra. The Sri Yantra harmonizes feminine and masculine energy, eros, libido, sexual energy, the womb, earth and heaven. It's really a huge, huge cosmological symbol of this integration and unification, definitely working with feminine energy. So this is what I wanted to set out for that day. So have a think about what you want to start doing on Sunday. What is it as the 7th comes up that you're going to actually start to change in action and behavior rather than just contemplating on it, which is nice start, but the action piece is absolutely necessary. Saturn re-enters Pisces on the 1st of September. That's today. So it's going to be urging you to complete some inner clarity. Just get some inner clarity today about what you're moving forward with, what you're really trying to see. I know that I've got a lot that is pivoting in the eclipse portal to do with my feminine and masculine energy, my anima and animus, and certain behaviors around that, and new cycles of behavior, and a new, completely new future for me as I said goodbye to my son who went to university this week. And my life is changed drastically over the last year. And I sit here on my own now, only having myself to worry about and my 3 lovely dogs, of course, but thinking, what's next for me? What does life look like for me now that I'm not running a family home, that I'm running a space for me, and maybe a space that is, I've outgrown. So what does the next whatever look like for me? What would I like it to look like? That's what I need to bring into the imagination as I shared with you, thinking about that. We're going to see a collective and a social renewal as well. The eclipse does not just affect us on a personal level, the micro level, but the macro and the cosmos and the societal structures. So at a group level, this eclipse may awaken compassion for mental health. It may awaken a knowledge that others are struggling, that it's difficult right now in our collective, actually, and that people are suffering. That creativity and community and healing environments are super important for us all at this moment. And that might bring in a deeper sense of environmental awareness where we're thinking, how are we treating the environment? How does the environment hold me, and what can I do to improve the environment around me so that it's conducive to nurturing and holding me and others? I think that's a beautiful sentiment to go through the next portal with. Like, how do I treat the environment locally within your own home and the garden and then beyond? And how does that then impact myself and others in the reflection of nurturing and an environment which grows and thrives you? So this week is going to feel like heightened emotional sensitivity. Those women who are holding their bleed this week, I really feel you. Like, you're going to be holding your bleed for yourself as you enter this portal, but also collectively. The womb is very strong. So if you're feeling you're on the cusp of bleeding, or you are indeed bleeding this week, then really try to release, knowing that this release is also tied into pre-eclipse energy. It's a very strong release. It's going to want to bring you into new cycle, and for you to imagine the new cycle of the earth, the mother as well. There's deep psychic awakening, deep intuitive, like the collective at the moment likes to call these downloads, but I like to call them insights, vivid dreams, ancestral messages that might emerge. But energies feel slow, introspective, very cathartic. It's not a time for pushing forward, but again, for a time to turn inward. We're getting a lot of that. The collective, and especially the star collective, is really truly getting us to reflect inward so much more than we're used to. So that generally makes us feel like, oh no, not again. Oh, give me a break. But it's like, keep talking about Persephone, and it's definitely for a reason. But the Persephone had to go to the underworld for half of the year and release for the other half. And that cycle of the underworld is not short, by the way. the winter is generally showing us of that cycle of going down and in to the underworld, too deep feeling. Those of us that are coming into autumn might be already sensing, oh no. But that oh no is a resistance to go into the darker inner space. We don't like it. Of course, we want to live up where the sunlight and the festivals and the dancing and the joy is. Of course, we do. It's really human. But it's essential to go deep, deep, deep into that underworld. Every myth shows us that. We know that with the cycles, the way that Mother Earth cycles, that we have to go inward. Our bleed as women takes us inward. Inward is important. It's where change happens. So we keep being called back to the inward, to the deeper, to the depth, astrologically, psychologically. Know that it's for your greater good. So I'm wishing you much, much letting go, much beautiful awareness that may be coming in. This is deeply transformative, soulful, and profound. Use the energy. Start something called Sunday that will be indicative of a new kind of being, a new way of living, and really, really just see this as the opportunity for a reset and to live your life differently. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to lead you into something I feel really important to deliver as this eclipse comes in, and we've got the feminine shadow and all of that showing itself. So I'm inviting you just to take a big deep breath into your body and take a few sighs. And I want you to feel your body. Everything is so truly somatic as human being. Feeling your toes and your ankles and your legs, your hips. Just feeling your belly, the womb, your spine, your chest, solar plexus, the shoulders, the arms, and the head. And just breathing into the whole of the physical body. And as you breathe into the physical body, you're embodied in physical form. Just begin to really sense yourself deeply connected to the earth, but also to the heavens, to the sky, and to the solar, to the cosmos. Deep below the earth, high into the cosmos, and you as the station between. And as you station yourself between, just feel the energy of the body and breathe in a divine light. And every breath, this divine light accumulates within you. Your body drinks in the white light and it begins to automatically inhale as much of this divinity as it can, leaving the body feeling very full with this energy, and then immersing your body, your aura in a circle and a field of this divine healing white light that protects you from any energies other than you and your connection to Creator, God, the beloved, whichever you wish to name it. And then I want you to just feel as you stand here in an embodied but liminal space, the presence of your mother's mother at your left shoulder behind you. In the presence of your father's mother and the right shoulder behind you. They're touching that auric field, that safety space, but they're not in it. And as you feel the lineages of mother's mother and father's mother, you can also witness the long line of women behind them, your ancestral line, going all the way back, and then back even further to star lives, past lives. It's a whole continuum. And then trace it all the way back to you. Notice that you are right now, at this present moment, the symbol of all of those lines of women. Your life, your patterns, your behaviors, your wounds, your suffering, your joys, your life, your situations, the good and the bad. And as you breathe into your heart space, into your womb, you feel the presence of those two grandmothers behind you. And you just in this moment witness all that they suffered, all their wounds, all their sacrifices, the places they remained silent, the places that they were unheard, unseen, repressed, depressed. Patriarchy that lived within them, that was impressed against them. And just acknowledge them and thank them for their lives, for the DNA that lives within you, for birthing your mother and your father, so that you become incarnate, that your soul in this life, which will continue on in many lives, but at this moment, at this point, is holding all it needs to heal, is being made conscious of all the things that must change, is being made aware of cycles and patterns of behavior that no longer serve you or your lineage. We ask the grandmothers in deep gratitude and humbleness of their lives, of their pains, of their scars, of their joys, of their hopes, of their unlived dreams, to just bring into our consciousness right now something that we need to be made aware of. Something that wants to be seen, to be changed. A pattern that once lived in them, that now lives in you, that is calling to be different. Spend a moment here. Allow the communication, visual, feeling, knowing, hearing, visualizing, however it may come to you. Just spend a moment. And pause the recording at this point if you wish to have more time with them. Otherwise, thanking them right now for their love, their creation of you, of your parents, father and your mother. They are seen, and you are too. I'm sending them a warm and heartfelt connection and feeling and thanking as they disappear back into the liminal space. And with the feeling of the lineages behind you, showing you what it is that the illumination of the eclipse wishes to bring and change for you. Boldly step forward and know that the potential lies within you to change this part of your ancestry, of your past. And with blessings, I bring you back into your body. Slowly beginning to bring the eyes open into the space you're in now. And I pray for this to move. I pray for all that needs to change to bring you into the elevation that the eclipse is trying to do. And until next week, bye for now.